Yeah.
That's incredible. I can't get enough of it. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Own the Chaos. Shout out to Jason for creating that soundbite. I cannot believe people have the time to do this kind of dumb bullshit, but we appreciate it. And I got to find a better way to use it, but I just had to use it right out of the gate because it was just that damn good. What's going on, everybody? Good to see you. How's it going, Christian?
I'm good, man. Man, the Ravens did get their ass beat, Claudia.
Ugh.
Thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah, appreciate that.
What's up, my people? I'm doing good. The market was questionable this morning, but we got some good stuff on the watch list. I'm proud of our performance, and I hope everyone benefited off of it. And Peloton did go the hell off. I was kind of like Zoom or Peloton. It was one or the other. But
yeah, Zoom's actually started to come back a little bit after it sell off. But yeah, we absolutely crushed it. Today's watch list, Shopify was probably the biggest winner. But if you guys aren't familiar with what we're talking about, all the people in this chat are. It is the Chaos Crew. So if you want to be part of the Chaos Crew, hit the join button. You want to be a part of this show, you can come on over to and hit that join button. You get a watch list every single day. You also get access to my Own the Chaos portfolio provided by Webull. And it's just a really great community to be a part of. I'm sure everybody can attest to that here in the chat already. We are over 800 strong in the Chaos Crew, by the way. You guys are absolutely incredible. Helping support the channel. We couldn't do it without you. So shout out to you guys. You're the real ones.
I need to, before we, so we're going to kind of tighten up the top stocks for October. And before we get into that, I need to get a couple things out of the way. First off, what's up, my people? Steve King made me think of this. I don't know why, but what's up, Steve? I need to shout out two members. I need to shout out Tracy H., who recommended AMD, which it's not going to be on the top stocks for October, but we appreciate the recommendation. I'm saving it potentially for maybe a chip like showdown where we go over the stocks like Nvidia, AMD, Intel, all that jazz. But that, and then Bonnie Laurich, Lululemon just missed the cut. She brought that up. I mean, we've been talking about it, but it kind of fell off the radar. Shout out to her for kind of bringing it to the forefront because I was this close to adding that to the top stocks for October. So we appreciate it as we move forward and we try to engage you guys more. I think we want to incorporate the Chaos Crew in helping us in our community, like bring up stocks. So I think I'm going to represent the community in that way. We didn't have time this month, but moving forward, we're going to definitely incorporate you guys more in your picks.
Yeah, I mean, and I can't believe that 2020 is obviously can't be over soon enough, but I can't believe that it's October already. Or at least we're already talking about October stocks anyway.
Yeah. What's up, brats? Yeah, it's crazy. And Alex, welcome to the crew. Hollywood frat movie. I don't know.
You got the specs. You got the T-shirt. I guess I don't know. Hats on backwards. Maybe that's the whole ensemble.
I'm surprised you said nothing about them because these are not prescription. I felt like because we were doing research, I felt like it made me sound more important.
Look more important.
More important. If you looked at me, you were like, "Oh, this guy knows what he's talking about." These are literally just for show. I actually. I don't even know why I use them, but I use them for times like these.
That's hilarious. Fun fact, I'm not wearing glasses and I'm actually blind in my left eye.
Perfect vision, baby.
I am with a $10 donation. Thanks, man. Made a couple dollars on Costco. Thanks, guys. Also, Brad, I'm holding RAD. Looks like it's breaking down technically thoughts. Yeah, RAD took a dive. We still think that there could be some opportunities to grab it on the cheap. But not sure the bottom's in just yet on that thing. Is that Clark Kent or Christian? I love it. All right, so some things we are talking about today. Obviously, the top 10 stocks for October. Just wanted to, let some people roll in here. We got 176 concurrents right now. I'm sure that will continue to go up. We got some really good ones on the list this week. Or for the month, rather. And if you guys have any other questions, though, as always, we'll be happy to answer those at the end of the show. So make sure that you're bringing those in. If we don't go over the stocks that you're looking at for October, we'll be sure to get to them. So, Christian, let's go ahead and get right into it with the top 10 stocks of October. First, I'll bring you on over to the chart. And what you got for us for number 10?
I'm going to let you go first.
Oh, okay.
I want you to go first. I want you to set the stage.
All right. I'll just hit mine. Mine is actually Southwest. And this is interesting. Okay. So we have all kinds of things going on with the airlines right now. We're at a deadline. October 1st, we're expecting or hoping for some sort of stimulus to bail the airlines out again because they are still burning through cash like crazy. And it is also the deadline that could happen and impact a lot of the employees in the airline service industry. There was a stipulation or clause within getting bailed out the first time that they couldn't lay off any employees through September. October 1st it's fair game unless they get some other sort of stimulus. So there's a lot of issues revolving around all of that, but I think Southwest is set up to, obviously be the best play here as far as the airlines are concerned. If we do get stimulus, this one probably stands to benefit the most. Reason being, they have the best balance sheets. They have the best break-even load factor, which if you don't know what that is, it is basically the amount of passengers it takes to break even on each flight. They have lower cash burn than any other airline out there. Also, they fly domestically. And if you look at some of the other international airliners, I love Delta. Don't get me wrong. I think that's going to be a better long-term play if you have the patience for it. But in the short term, I think we have Southwest because people are flying around domestically just fine. International flights are still very much restricted. So if you're looking to play an airlines stock that may end up taking a bit of a hit if we don't get some sort of stimulus, Southwest is going to be the one you're going to want to grab on a dip.
Yeah, Southwest is definitely a good one, a great company, poised to rebound. And I know somebody recently asked us five stocks to hold on for the next 5 years or something. And, that was one of the ones that we put in there. And I know in the Chaos Crew, we've been talking about JetBlue. We think that definitely Southwest is a better company, but I think it has good upside as well if you're looking for maybe a lower priced stock. But we both love Southwest and both have Southwest. And I have a stock that's also a popular name. So my first stock, which I guess this will be number 9, is our old friend Starbucks.
Oh,
okay. So we've been on to Starbucks for a while now. And so back before when it was below $75, it had a poor earnings last time. It has earnings coming up at the end of the month, the 29th of October. And I'm telling you people, we're going to have a nice run up, and listen here, they're going to blow out earnings. This is a great company, one of the best companies in hospitality. In fact, I think they're just one of the best companies, period. What I like about them is even though they're huge, they're very nimble. And once they realized that their formula right now wasn't working with the new normal, they went to work. So they focused on what's called throughput. Basically, how do we get people through? Today's National Coffee Day. So I forgot to mention that, but that's the inspiration. I felt like it's just right.
AKA Pumpkin Spice Day.
Yes, sir.
Basic White Bitch Day.
So with that said, Starbucks has spent the last 3 months focusing on that throughput. They've been focusing on changing their model, focusing on drive-through, and even changing a lot of their stores where it's not just sit there all day. They still have that, but really the focus is on these quick grab-and-go models, the drive-through models, and it doesn't matter what happens moving forward. Starbucks is going to benefit off of that. So I love Starbucks. It's currently trading at about $85, and that's 10% off its 52-week highs of $94. It's coming after those 52-week highs, believe me.
Ooh, all right. It's trading at $85 a share currently. Bratz 123. Thanks for the donate for the mojitos. Appreciate that. And I think Starbucks is actually going to be a really good mover, especially going into earnings. And we didn't even talk about, earnings season coming upon us. So there's going to be all kinds of stuff to talk about as far as that's concerned leading into October. But for my next one, it's going to be CVS. There's a couple of things that I like about CVS. One of them is that I did have, I don't know where it went. I had lines. Here we go. So if you guys look at CVS, we talked about this last month, and we're starting to break out of this trend. So if you guys see this 4-hour chart here, there's from a technical standpoint, it looks like it is primed and ready for a breakout. Now, I aside from all of that, we have a lot of things going for CVS too. We're in a recession, and we always want to look for stocks that are recession proof. CVS, anything in the healthcare sector, typically is recession proof. What's going to make CVS look even more attractive here is going to be a potential second wave. We're actually seeing reports of that already happening in Canada. It's getting colder in Canada. There's a lot of Ontario has reports of high infection rates already. We're already seeing increases over the past week in 21 states in the U.S. As we get colder, I think that we do start to see spikes here and there, and CVS stands to benefit. Not only that, but if we do get a vaccine in this quarter or something at least resembling a vaccine, we've already seen Johnson & Johnson has 60,000 participants in their phase 3 trials. And who's going to be administering those vaccines? Companies like CVS. They have a better balance sheet. They're a better run company than your Rite Aids and your Walgreens. I think CVS is definitely going to be one that you're going to want to hang on to leading into really the fourth quarter of this calendar year.
Yeah, and you recently mentioned Rite Aid. When we talked about Rite Aid, we both believe in CVS.
Yeah.
I still believe in Rite Aid. So I want to clarify that. And we always talk about starter positions. If it goes down further, I'm probably going to increase. But it's, we put it in as a day trade. I think it could potentially swing for a little bit. But I just wanted to reassure anybody holding on to Rite Aid. I think CVS is going to be big. I think that's a good call.
Another thing to note real quick is that CVS is also trading for less than 8 times forecast earnings, which is actually crazy low. So I still think it's a very undervalued stock. So I just want to get that little tidbit in there.
Oh man, you messed up my transition because I was going to say, speaking of stocks I need to talk you off the ledge about, my next one is going to be number 7, Rocket.
Yes. A lot of people are seeing in the chat already asking about it.
Listen to me. It's been around Linda. 20. I get it. Down 30% since the IPO. The earnings, we already said the earnings is BS. Like they had great earnings. The issue was they were saying demand, which is normal. Demand is down. This is a product of they had a great earnings, and who knows why people weren't happy about it. So, I'm just saying, do what you want. It's your stuff. I'm not going anywhere. I feel good about it. It keeps hovering around $20 right now. I think it's pretty much at $20. There's high short interest on it. There's a lot of people. There's like 15% short interest on that. But here's the thing. To me, I think there's over 50% upside to this stock. And I could make an argument for almost 75% upside, but I'm going to say 50% upside. And there's 12.5% downside. That's when I look at the numbers of where it IPO'd at, the lows it got to, and then highs in a short time. That's what I look at. So I think there's high upside to this. There was just releasing demand. I think it was July, 4.5% increase in home sales. We know that the rates are historically low and they're staying low. People are refinancing. People are buying new homes. All that bodes well. And I don't think it's going to be a bad quarter, even though historically this is a lower quarter. Their Rockets, they dominate the mortgage space. They have higher growth and higher profits than any of their competitors. And one thing I just really want to highlight was their sales margin. So they had 5.2% sales margin, which was a high for them. But to put that in perspective, their competitors do about 4.2%. What's 1%? Well, that's 25% increase. That's huge when you're talking about financials and you're talking about billions of dollars.
Yes.
So to me, Rocket is a clear buy. Don't go anywhere, people. At least I'm not going anywhere. I love this stock, and I think we're going to get paid off in the future, and that's going to be before November 1st.
Yeah, I think it's also important to note that we have the numbers for mortgage applications coming out in tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time is when those numbers should be released. So I actually anticipate those numbers to be quite good, and that could also kind of carry over into Rocket, people looking to buy up some of these mortgage related companies or real estate related companies. I think that another benefactor could be Rocket as well. Mine, where are we at? Number 6?
6.
Tesla. I mean, y'all knew it was going to be here. They have earnings coming out in October. But before we get to the earnings, we already know that they had an abysmal battery day presentation. But despite having an extra 6 months to prepare for it, but we'll just leave it at that. To be fair, there's some amazing information and innovation that was presented to those people, and those who had bigger brains that could actually and know how to speak engineering saw through all of that and actually started to upgrade Tesla. Now, Tesla, has been obviously volatile. It's come down to even as low as $351 a share. In the past, I've said that analysts have been smoking something when it came to estimating earnings for this one. Right now, earnings estimates are around 56 cents per share. I'm sure, obviously, that'll change. It's subject to change as we get closer to the earnings date. But this, as far as analysts are concerned, they're actually starting to evaluate this reasonably. I think, though, that we're going to still see some pretty decent growth out of Tesla, especially in the Asian markets. We're going to probably hear about some updates as far as Tesla's concerned when it comes to progress in some of the other gigafactories that they're building. If it's one thing that I know is that Elon always seems to surprise us in some form or fashion. We're also today just saw an increase in orders from Tesla or from Walmart Canada. They're actually ordering more Tesla semi vehicles as well. So that's a really big deal for the company. I think Tesla's going to be one to watch out for. If they end up beating earnings, I think we could see another move. And I hate to say this, but we could see another move to $500 because I'm sure I'll get a lot of heat on that. But I think that I think it'll be good. It's funny because there was a short reaction to what Elon had said earlier today about not caring if people sold his stock. There was a lot of shade thrown his way as far as battery day is concerned, but obviously the Walmart news has got this thing flying today.
Yeah, man. What a great move. I mean, it wasn't a great morning, but what a great move.
Yeah.
October is going to be interesting. I mean, for all the Qs stocks, I think it should be great. So I'm banking on Tesla. I hope it comes true. So let me tell you about number 5. All right. The stock is up 170% year to date, 450% the last 6 months. And yet I still put it on the list because I think it has some room to grow. Do you know what stock it is?
No, what you got?
Penn. Now, I almost took it off because there was news today about the NFL and the Titans. There was positive tests for the Titans.
Yep.
And so that caused the stock to drop 6%. But to be honest with you, it was just a good buy opportunity. So I'm like, listen, if I'm bringing it to this October stocks, I'm buying it.
Yeah.
So I already had it, but I increased position on it. Here's the thing with Penn. So Penn has had an awesome run. People are going to ask about DraftKings. We like Penn better. We like Penn because of their following, because of their community with their partnership with Barstool and Barstool's following and community. And I've talked about these numbers before, but I want this to be documented. The Barstool Bets app was launched for bets last weekend in Pennsylvania. Now, Pennsylvania already allows legalized gambling, so there's already competition there. And Dave Portnoy, who started, the founder of Penn, had mentioned, like, listen, we're behind the 8 ball and we still crushed with these numbers. So here are some numbers that they gave the first weekend, which was September 18th through the 21st. 24,000 registrations in PA, 30,000 downloads, 12,000 first-time depositors in PA with an average deposit size of $243, 180,000 downloads in the U.S. It was the number 1 downloaded app in the App Store that weekend. And $11 million in handle, which is just money wagered. And so a lot of you are going to say, oh, well, what about Michael Jordan picked up by DraftKings? Listen, Barstool's got prime time. Prime time. If you haven't seen prime time is the man. So Barstool's basically was like, hold my beer. Yeah, MJ was great at sports, but man, if you watch prime time, he's taking it over the top. I'm calling it. Penn.
The content that he creates with Barstool already is just absolutely epic. Even when it comes down to like even when it comes down to the game picks, like they're hilarious. Yeah, just to clarify, Dave is not the founder of Penn. He's the founder of Barstool.
You know what I meant.
Yeah, just wanted to clarify.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, look, you and I are both on the same page as far as Penn's concerned. I absolutely love the stock. I love Barstool, what they represent, and they still have a challenge. I think that it's going to be, you know, a three-headed monster. There usually is when it comes to that sort of thing, and I think that. It's hard to tell who's going to actually come out on top, but I think what sets them apart is their community and their culture when you compare them to DraftKings and even FanDuel. So, like Penn a lot. My number 4, before we get to number 4, I want to just clarify that if you guys are watching right now, the 325 of you, 330 of you, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you. If you could get those likes up and help share this, that would be great. Also, if you want to be part of the community, you want to be part of the chat, you want to hang out and get some of these, get this kind of watch list every single day. We type one out, we put it out every morning, an hour before the market opens. Hit the join button, become part of the Chaos Crew. We'd love to have you guys over there, along with all kinds of other private videos and stuff that are exclusive to the Chaos Crew. All right. Getting into number 4 for the month of October is Shopify, and damned if this thing didn't go off today. This is actually on the watch list today, and Christian, I got to give you all the credit on this one. This is one that that Christian picked out for our watch list for our Chaos Crew folks this morning, and it went berserk. Now, this is still very much on the list for me for this reason. One of a few reasons, actually. One of them was, you know, we saw some issues with security. There were some breaches and that sort of thing, and that's why we saw this sell off recently. But that didn't seem to really matter a whole lot, and it usually because it wasn't really that big of a deal. There's always going to be smaller security breaches, no matter how big your company is. And we saw that with Zoom, and who cared when it came to Zoom, right? Zoom fixed it. Everybody was happy again, and the stock went absolutely crazy. Went up another 400%. Can Shopify go up another 400%? I don't think so. But I think what stands to benefit for Shopify is the fourth quarter of the calendar year. People are going to be doing a lot more shopping, and I have already made remarks that I think that this could be a record year for retail sales as far as the holiday season's concerned. And I do stand by that. Shopify stands to benefit. Could we go with Amazon? Sure. But I think Shopify also is a big player in this field. And we're looking at, you know, the general consent or the Consensus Bureau just came out with news last month or results last month as far as the retail shopping online. So out of all of retail shopping, 20% of it's still only done online in the e-commerce sector. And I think that's crazy number. So the ability to still grow in the e-commerce space is just wide open as far as I'm concerned. I think Shopify stands to benefit from that greatly. I would wait for a pullback at this point. We haven't really talked about where we would buy things as far as numbers are concerned, but Shopify has gone absolutely berserk. I think that we probably see this pull back into the 900s very briefly, but you know, we'll see where that lands, but it is going off the chain today.
So my next stock, number 3, is actually competition to your stock. And I do like Shopify a lot. I wanted to throw something different in the mix. BigCommerce, ticker BIGC.
We get a lot of people asking about this stock too.
Yeah, and I've kind of had it on my radar, but haven't pulled the trigger on it. I think October's the month for me to get into Big C. Man, it's up 12.5% today. Fire today. But so it's at around 88.50. It's still it IPO'd last month. You're going to see a lot of volatility. But so let's talk about Shopify and Big C. Their margins are similar. Shopify just has the volume. I mean, they have the growth right now.
Yeah.
However, I think these two can live together. Shopify is more B2C, business to consumer, where BigCommerce really leans into the B2B.
Yeah.
And so they basically are creating platforms for businesses who want to start online e-commerce selling. Companies are already making that shift, but more companies are continue to do that. Bless you. So BigCommerce is going to be the solution to that. So I think you're going to see that volume grow. I don't want to say I love this stock yet, but I'm learning more about it, and I really, really like it. I think, you know, it's 85% off of its high of 162. Again, we talk about that volatility off of an IPO. So take that with a grain of salt. But I like this for October. Big C, my people.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just goes and plays into that there's still plenty of room in this market. Everybody thinks that Amazon's just here to take over everybody, and there is some truth to that. But there's still space for competition, and Big C is definitely something that it's worth taking a look at. All right, so we're down to our final three. Is that right?
2. You're in number 2.
Final 2. Okay, I can't keep count. So the final 2, my number 2 is going to be Nvidia. When you think about big tech CEOs, you think about Steve Jobs, you think about Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk. Nobody talks about Jensen Huang. Nobody talks about that guy. And he is an absolute monster of a CEO and is going to be taking Nvidia to new heights. We're already seeing a big move for Nvidia now. There was a lot of people that argued that Nvidia was overvalued, and I just can't disagree enough. I think Nvidia is going to $600 probably by the end of the year, and I don't even think it's going to even take that much work for it to get there. They have the recent acquisition, $40 billion acquisition from ARM. They're getting into more than just gaming. Gaming is pretty much what's got them to this point, and now they're just working into so many other things. AI, autonomous driving, all of that kind of stuff. And so just today, ARM announced that the launch of a new set of solutions for autonomous systems for both automotive and industrial use cases. So this is only going to continue to grow and make NVIDIA more valuable. And I think, when the ARM acquisition happened, it was during September, even though we're still technically in September, during the bulk of the September sell-off was when the ARM deal happened. And I don't think people even got a chance to react to that because of all the selling that was going on in the entire market. Now I think that people are going to start to see more value in NVIDIA as buying starts to increase here leading into the fourth quarter. And I think that this is going to be a monster month for NVIDIA. Right now it's trading at 536. It's looking awesome. This is actually a stock that is in the Chaos Webull portfolio. So if you want access to that, make sure you're hitting the join button. But yes, this is going to be a really good mover, I think. I can't say enough good things about NVIDIA.
Yeah, I agree. They dominate the gaming space. The ARM acquisition was a great move by them, just to increase market share and continue to dominate. And I agree. I love their CEO. He is the man.
Yeah.
I will say their competition that just missed the cut, Intel, just missed the cut. And we got to do a semiconductor chip profile because there's so many stocks. Someone did Marvel, which is a 5G play.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of competition out there, but Nvidia definitely stands above the rest. Before I get to my number 1, just shout out Kill Your Masters. Thanks for upgrading to level 2 to get access to Brad's portfolio, and then Curated High. Welcome to the Chaos Crew.
What up, my man?
Somebody asked about Apple. We'll get into that in a second. It was almost my number 1, but it's not. Expect great things from Apple this month, especially with the iPhone. However, with that being said, Amazon is my number 1. I cannot have a top 10 without a Fat Man Zoom special in there. So Amazon's my number 1. I'm going to tell you why, Brad. So fresh off the heels of their new product announcements, which I loved, flying drone around the house. I love that camera system. So I love everything they're doing with their security systems for the home. They mentioned some stuff, a partnership with Tesla, some auto security systems. All that's great. I feel good about it. It makes me continue to stay bullish. We said it was foolish that it was below $3,000. We were right. It's above 3,000. But it's going to keep going.
Yep.
I want all-time highs. October 29th is the earnings, and this company is just epic. It's going to dominate earnings, and the outlook's going to be great. Here's what I'm really looking forward to. Amazon has Prime Day coming October 13th and 14th. So last year, Prime Day was in July, and it was a means to be a catalyst during their slow season in July. They didn't do that this year for obvious reasons. They moved it back. They're pushing Prime Day into their busy season. They're already crushing it. Mm-hmm. Everybody's already used to using Amazon. They're improving. And now you got Prime Day just to get them back on top of people's minds into the busy season. Not only is this quarter going to dominate, but what's most important is I think their outlook is going to be ridiculous. Yeah. And I think that's going to get this stock at all-time highs. And then the last thing I'll mention, I just like that they're just doing new things, and they have a lot of free cash flow. They're using it. They just announced today that they were doing a subscription service. I actually don't know if you know this, but they're doing a subscription service for men for wardrobes, competing with Stitch Fix. So I know you're a big fan. Well, but they're doing that. And then we've talked about their opportunities. They just launched their first, I think it's like Fresh Cart. It's their grocery. It's like their technological savvy grocery experience. So all of that for them to take over market share with Whole Foods. Man, they got so much going for them. The list is never ending. And this stock, man, when is this stock going to be 4,000, Brad? That's my question.
Yeah, I mean, and that was actually, I have to correct myself. On Sunday, I said 3,500 by the end of the year, but my original prediction for this was 4,000 by the end of the year. That would be 25% from now. I think it's going to be a challenge to get it to 4,000, but I think over 3,500, maybe even 3,750 could be very realistic leading into the end of the year. And for all of the reasons that you said, the reason that they're doing Prime Day and then leading into Black Friday, Cyber Monday type thing, that is just, I mean, that is genius, especially given the fact that they didn't have to worry about a slowdown over the summertime. So I think that is just, it's hard to imagine Amazon not being at least close to that $4,000 mark. And I'm super pumped, even for what the next quarter, what quarter four's earnings are going to look like, because I think it's just going to be absolutely monstrous.
Yep. Let's do it, baby. Let's go, Amazon.
All right. So there's about 420 of you watching here live. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. We really appreciate it. If you guys could like this video, if you're getting, or like to stream, if you're getting value out of it. Also, if you want to be part of the Chaos Crew, get daily watch lists from us, as well as all kinds of other private streams and access to the public only Chaos portfolio via Webull. Certainly would appreciate that. Speaking of Webull, if you guys are curious as to what this platform is that you're seeing on your screen, that is Webull. It's the desktop version. They also have an amazing app. If you guys want to check that out and also support the channel, click the link. You're looking to switch brokerages. Webull is actually a really great platform. I'm not just saying that because we are affiliated with them. I'm just saying it because I actually believe in their products. So really good stuff from Webull. Go check it out. You'll get 2 free stocks if you fund your account with $100 or more, and it's pretty awesome. So go check it out. All right, what else we got today, my man? We diving into some of the questions here.
Yeah, we are. And actually, I'm going to start with the topic I wanted to bring up because you and I haven't spoken about it. But D-Ray asked about McCormick. So McCormick just had earnings this morning. A little bit of a sell-off. What is it at now? I don't know what it's at now, but
sitting at 190, about 191, 190.69.
So they announced a stock split, a 2-for-1 stock split on November 20th. And let me make sure I got the date right. So it's the record date is the 20th. So you have to hold shares the 20th, but it's actually November 30th that they'll be distributed. That's probably going to be on my November list. Just thoughts on the stock split.
I think that, so there's a couple of other good things going for McCormick. I think the only reason that it sold off was because their outlook didn't quite meet what the consensus was for analysts. And I think it's a little bit kind of bullshit because of all the other good things they have going on. Within the next 3 days, you have to be in this stock in order to get their dividends. So we could see some buying return for McCormick. All of their other growth is absolutely fantastic. And then you have the stock split on top of that. And as we all know, there's not going to be any kind of added value for the stock split. But we've already seen some pretty decent run-ups with Tesla and Apple. And this McCormick split is actually going to be good, I think, for the company and just kind of give it more value, especially. And I would say that the reason that they're doing is not so much for retail investors or even really investors at all, other than maybe their employees. And I think, you and I are from Maryland. We know a lot about McCormick and just the company itself. It's a great company. I know a lot of people who work for them, and they just love it. So I think that that's probably one of the biggest reasons as to why they're doing this split. I think it's going to be a good mover, and maybe it should be one that you watch for October. But I think we probably see some buying leading into the dividend. Probably we'll see some once the dividend comes out, and then you'll start to see buying return again leading up to that split as well. So it should be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, for sure. And I expect sort of the dominoes to fall with other companies announcing stock splits as well. So
I was just about to say that, I think that Amazon I mean, wouldn't it be crazy if Amazon, the end of the month when they announce their earnings, come out with a split as well?
God, that's why it's number one.
That would be crazy.
10 for 1, baby. Let's go.
Absolutely crazy if that happened. Snook Aru, welcome to level 2, my man or lady.
KYM, you're absolutely right. Curated high, new member. How do I find the watch list? So the watch list is going, you're going to get notifications. So make sure your notification bell is clicked. But on the community tab, you can find all the correspondence. So we send it out every morning, or Brad actually posts it every morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. Next question. KYM, honorable mentions. Yeah. Well, I gave you my honorable mentions. Intel, Marvel, great 5G play. Apple's definitely an Apple's an honorable mention for sure.
It always is,
been on there.
Yeah.
Any honorable mentions for you? Anything you were thinking about that you ended up passing on?
Yeah, actually, a lot of them have revolved around, and it really necessarily isn't a specific stock in general, but I can name off a few. One of them being Fastly, CrowdStrike, and even Zoom at this point. Yeah. I still think Zoom has a lot of room to grow. When I was talking about the potential for a second wave, and we're already starting to see an increase in infections as far as the Rona is concerned, as long as a vaccine stays away, and I've said this before about any of these remote work stocks, that even if we do get a vaccine, they're still going to be in pretty high demand. That when you start to look at those, and they've actually started to make some serious moves today because of the news we've gotten about increased cases. Fastly is about ready to reach back up over $90 or $100 a share. CrowdStrike, obviously, especially, I mean, look, we just saw, Shopify experiencing those cybersecurity issues, and I think that CrowdStrike's only going to continue to become relevant and in demand. And I think that's probably Palo Alto could be in there in that conversation as well as far as cybersecurity goes. But I like CrowdStrike a lot, and moving forward, I think we end up seeing CrowdStrike closer to $200 a share. Probably not this year, but leading into the beginning of next year, I think we see it.
Melissa H said, "Y'all got me hype. I'm feeling good about October. I know I'm hype. I am hype." We got some people point out the energy was a little on Stockwatch Sunday, which, man, it was true. Yeah. So we got to bring the energy. It's our job to bring the energy.
I think it's tough when you get later in the day and you're just kind of like winding down and the sun's down, it's dark out, and it'll probably be a challenge for us leading into this year when we turn the clocks back too, because I'm going to be like dragging because of the time difference. But Castle Realty Agent Success is a very interesting name. But welcome to the Chaos Crew. Appreciate
Zero Blue Ox. I think Google hits 1,500 this week. Any thoughts on the event tomorrow, products and stock reaction wise? So we are going live tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern time, which is when the Google event starts, and we're going live for the event. So definitely join us on that. But Brad, do you want to answer that question on do you think it hits 1,500 this week, and thoughts on the event tomorrow?
I think it could certainly hit 1,500 this week, and I think a lot of it also is influenced by what happens tomorrow. If we see some really cool stuff that comes out tomorrow that would impact the stock, I think that could definitely be something we see. But also from the ad spend side, we're starting to see more companies develop and start out online now, and they're turning towards companies like Google and really Facebook. We haven't talked about Facebook a lot because it's kind of been a little bit of a black sheep right now from the political side of things, and that's why it's kind of been beaten down. But we really should talk about Facebook here in the near future as well. But Google is in that same conversation as far as that's concerned. I think that depending on what they come out with tomorrow, along with their potential growth for revenue, I think it's going to be pretty awesome. Just from a creator standpoint, we've seen an increase in ad revenue as far as views per, it's what's called cost per mile. So our cost per mile, as far as the YouTube standpoint goes, and what people are watching ads and how much we actually get paid per view, is increasing. So when you start to see that increase, that usually means that Google's doing pretty well. And we've always seen that later in the fourth quarter too, that we start to see Google move up. So I think it's going to be a good one.
Yeah. So we know they're launching the new 2 new phones, 2 or 3 new phones. So they're Pixel phones. They're also talking about a smart speaker and a Nest speaker. Now, and then I think Google has like the Chrome Fire. Is it the Chrome the Chrome stick or whatever.
Yeah.
So like that's all known, and I think for the event, if they show something new, that's where it'll blow past that 1500. I don't know if just what we've learned about this, what we've seen about this, if we're looking at other companies doing similar events, i.e., Apple, Tesla, Amazon is like we're seeing some profit taking or a little bit of a sell off post event, and that's the easy thing to say. And I want to say that there's going to be a sell off, but I don't know, man. I have a gut feeling. I feel like Google's been historically low.
Yeah.
I think it moves up. I think it moves up post event. I'm saying it's above 1500 by the end of the week.
It's definitely lagged a lot of the other FANG stocks, and so I think that this one definitely. I mean, it doesn't have that far to go before it hits 1500 anyway. So I think that it's definitely achievable for sure. Did I catch somebody else joining? Yeah, is that Viquero? Viquero. That was such a white American. 008. Welcome to the Chaos Crew, my man.
So we have Snookeroo. I just wanted to say that name because I really like it. Snookeroo, afternoon fellas, best way to learn trading view.
Oh, that's a question for you because you use it all the time.
You got to do it. You got to dig in.
I don't think there's a real strong tutorial on trading view.
Yeah, I just YouTube, Google, and just honestly, it was trial and error. But I really like it. Outside of earnings, it's inaccurate for earnings, which is really obnoxious. Adriana Ramirez, loving level 2. We're loving you back. Yeah, Chromecast. Yeah. Garcia family asks, any way the crew can get their own Discord? That's a very good question, and we'll discuss that. I think that's possible.
Yeah, what I'll say is that we are in the process of building out our website. It's over at stockwatchsunday.com, and that could potentially be someplace where that ends up living or whatever. We'll figure that out, but we'll definitely be working on that. I think it's a great idea because we've already talked about sometimes it's hard to communicate with everybody on those community posts. So maybe that's just where the posts live. But like if you want to have deeper conversation and, kind of engage a little bit more, then maybe we should have a Discord room or something like that. I think it's a great idea.
Speaking of Stockwatch Sunday, Ema asks, what time is Stockwatch Sunday this week?
7:30 p.m., guys. 7:30 p.m. is Stockwatch Sunday. We are changing it for the first time in 2.5 years. I've had Stockwatch Sunday, and we are changing the time. It's always been 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, but now we're moving an hour early so everybody can watch the foosball.
And by everybody, he means me. I really was pushing for 7:30.
It honestly makes a lot of sense. Most of you who watch this channel, let's be fair, are fans of football or fans of sports, and we've already even gotten reports in our chat during Stockwatch Sunday that we are simulcasting Stockwatch Sunday and Sunday Night Football. So we're here for the people. We're gonna appease you guys. So thanks for all the suggestions.
I'm going to get to eBay in a second, but a question from Eric Scarl. I've been taking profit after a stock goes up 3% or more, selling 50% of the profit. Is there a better way? I want to answer this, and you give me your perspective on this.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's necessarily a better way. We talk about creating a strategy. It sounds like you have a sound strategy that sounds good. Sticking to it. The toughest part is the emotions. Having a strategy is one thing, but then the day starts, the emotions going, can you stick to it? So I would say, I don't think there's no best strategy, but if you are seeing success with it, it sounds good to me, then stick with it.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. Like if it's working for you and you're seeing profitability and it's on a consistent basis, don't fix something that isn't broken.
I thought you were going to say, don't fuck with something.
Well, hey,
we haven't dropped an F-bomb.
Whatever. We haven't.
Haiti Shakur said in Quebec, we will be in lockdown for a month. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And I saw Ontario too. Looks like they might be shutting down as well.
Dang.
Yep.
Brad said there's another outbreak in New York schools. So Zoom will keep going. Yeah. And we talked about Class EDU, the partnership. It's basically a tool, a platform that offers tools for educators. So we talked about there's huge penetration opportunities for Zoom in education space. So I think that's all fair. And we've heard about this second wave. and that's definitely a strong possibility. So let's be prepared. And the cool thing, well, I shouldn't say cool thing, but the thing that we benefit from is that we now have experience through it. Before we had no idea how to respond.
Right.
Now we know. So if it hits, be prepared, know your stocks, how they want to play, and use your supports and resistances.
Yep. Couldn't agree more.
Sony, what do you think the price for Zoom will be end of the year?
Ooh.
We need a prediction.
End of the year? 550? I think 550 is reasonable.
Say it with your chest. Come on, baby. Say it like you mean it.
We need to see a boner candle or two before we see Zoom getting closer to 600. But I think 550 is probably the most reasonable prediction.
They're going to have what's going to be interesting, and it's going to be what's going to predicate that end of year price point is their last earnings. It's going to be tough for them to outperform that. And I worry that the expectations are going to be so ridiculously high that that's going to present short-term challenges for it. Still feel great about it long-term, but it's going to be really predicated for me on the earnings, their last earnings of the year.
Yeah. So, and one other thing that I just want to add from a technical standpoint, looking at the charts, 460 has been a really crucial area for Zoom. It's come down. It was a really strong resistance, has been a really strong support since breaking up over that. In the Chaos crew and in our mentorship folks as well, we talked about 460 being a area of, that I would consider a buy as long as we start to see some a buying return once it hit those levels, and it has done that. And so I made actually some really good money on Zoom from that point, and then ended up selling off of it yesterday. Got back in today. I think that Zoom could be a good buy there. If it breaks below that, though, could be tough sledding for Zoom. Just be careful.
John Carlos Scalia asks, I've held eBay a long time. Should I keep or sell?
I mean, of all the e-commerce companies that you want to be in, why would it be eBay? And I think that's the question that I would be asking myself. I mean, when they have competition like Etsy and like Amazon and all these other ones that just seem to be doing so much better than eBay, why not flock to those? And Etsy was one that we actually talked about being on the list this week or this month as well. And, I think it's time to start looking at Etsy as being something that you end up getting yourself into. It's having a great day today, but eBay just doesn't seem like it's one that I would consider getting into. I hope you're not into this too high. But I don't know if I would have ever considered getting into eBay. Obviously you can see it ran up like crazy since the lows of the Rona, but I think it's just way overvalued at this point.
Okay, so the next question, Sujatha Alluri asks, what about Trex?
Trex? I don't know anything about that company. Is it like the Trex deck people? I guess so. So let me just confirm, because this could be a good one, because if we're looking at the home
TREX?
Yeah, TREX, it looks as if, yeah, I think so. I think that's what we're looking at. So from a home building standpoint, we just talked about how residential real estate is just off the chain. So I think that it could definitely be, especially again, going into the the mortgage application numbers tomorrow, could be one that we see definitely get a move on as well as a result of that. And again, as far as that's concerned, look at Home Depot, Lowe's, all those other ones, Restoration Hardware. Those are all probably going to see some pretty decent movement tomorrow.
All right. All right. What do we have next? So, how many people we got watching?
We got 415.
Nice.
118 likes. If we can get those thumbs up, we certainly would appreciate it.
Thoughts on Qualcomm, Claudia R.
This is another one that I think benefits from, and I hate to say it this way, I don't know of a better way to word it, but from a second wave. This is another remote work, play that has benefited from the shutdown. And, when we're looking at companies like this, we're looking at areas of opportunity. Qualcomm's just one of those areas of opportunity. I think that it could definitely revisit all-time highs. It's only at 124 is what all-time highs are, and sitting at 117 right now. It could definitely reach that, especially if we start to get news of continued increased positive cases of the Rona.
Yeah, and as we talk about autonomous driving vehicles, which you and I were speaking offline about that, and some sleeper companies, people don't talk about Qualcomm, but they're in the mix with that as well. So I like them as a sleeper. If you like that stock, I ain't mad at you for that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so and stock number one, Nikola.
Yeah, right.
King Bradicus, what's going on?
What up, my man?
I think, let me see down at the bottom if we got more. Okay. Mike B asks, thoughts on HCAC?
HCHC. Let's see here.
Oh, and don't let me forget to bring up, somebody asked about Domino's Pizza. I forgot about that.
Oh, man, what a monster today that thing was. Jesus. HCHC. Is this a SPAC company? I guess this is a SPAC company. I don't know who's merging into this one. I need some more context on that. But the chart's all over the place. I would just say be careful if you're looking to get into this. It looks as if maybe $11 or $10.75 seems to be an area where it likes to kind of hang around. And we've already seen some moves. But, yeah, I don't know what's going on with this one specifically. But it looks like it's obviously gotten some crazy movement. So that would be an area that I'd look for from a technical standpoint. It's like $10.75, $11, somewhere around there.
So it is a SPAC play, and it looks like they're intending to merge with an EV company called Canoe. So they're saying it's like another shell, but that's kind of all I pulled up on, and I don't know anything about it either.
Yeah, just one last general statement I'll give on a lot of these EV ones is that, they're going to start coming out of the woodwork. I feel as if we're going to see a movement kind of like what we saw with pot stocks, with cryptocurrency stocks when Bitcoin went close to 2,000 back in 2017. Like everybody and their mothers is now going to have an EV, and you just have to look at it and be like, just, look at the good ones. Ones that maybe have government backing, and we talk about Workhorse and Lordstown and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, all of these companies are still miles behind Tesla. So just consider that going into some stuff like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about DPZ, Domino's.
Domino's has been an absolute monster today. It's been an absolute monster since the Rona. It's been an absolute monster for the last decade. And we just talked about this morning. But did you know, Christian, before today, that Domino's has been outperforming?
I was going to save you on that one. Go ahead, say it.
Outperforming Amazon. For the last decade. From
now,
a stock
I believe it was 2008 to 2018.
Yeah.
Sort of clarify.
Yeah.
To answer your question, yes, I did know that. Yeah, man, somebody was saying, Domino's is like Tesla. They talk about Tesla is not a car company. Domino's isn't a pizza company.
Yeah.
Somebody did say they would spend all their profits on pizza, which is
that's fair.
For chains, they are pretty good, but I love this company. I've loved this company. They're just like efficient. I love their management. And I think they're just poised to continue to crush it. And they are a technology company. Their systems and their way of doing business and tracking, like their technology is pretty ridiculous. So obviously I choose better pizza, but man, they do it right.
Yeah. I mean, it's from a business standpoint and really they pivoted a lot too, I mean, there was a time where everybody hated Domino's, and then they went ahead and rebranded everything, and they went back to the drawing board and said, how can we make a better pizza? How can we make a better product? And it's been paying off in droves. And so I think that with this, from a technical standpoint, we're still seeing a really nice wedge on this from a technical standpoint. I think this continues to go higher. There's no reason for me to think that it doesn't. I'm sure we see a pullback. I think we probably could see a pullback maybe around to $400 even, $402 perhaps. But this is definitely one that I think continues to go up. Nothing but bull moves here.
What is a wedge?
So this is like a rising wedge pattern. So like if you look at the chart here, you can kind of see where it's it's just another bullish pattern that you're seeing here,
Okay.
where it's not necessarily a channel, an ascending channel from a trend standpoint, but we're seeing some pretty decent highs, higher highs and higher lows, and so it's just nothing but pointing up here for Domino's.
Garcia family, you are welcome. Anand Benaprasad said Canoe is last mile delivery, so that's good to know.
Okay.
As far as the merger for HCAC, and I'm sure we should probably look into it because I'm sure we're going to get more questions about
Yeah. Be
that
the
company.
next.
So thanks for
the
bringing
next
up this
move
back. People are. Before I get into that one, which one did I want to do? I wanted to.
You want to talk on SPR real quick, because I know you like that one.
Yeah. So that was the one I was looking for. TX Todd, Spirit Aero Systems, not to be confused with SAVE, which is Spirit Airlines. 1908. Man, this isn't done. Oh, so we knew this was going to be a bumpy ride. I really like Spirit as. I will still go in the airlines. I'm still going to go for love. But the reason why I brought this to the table was a lot of people were asking about Boeing. It's tied to Boeing. So as Boeing goes, Spirit goes. It was just down further and had more room to run. Boeing is Spirit's main client. So they manufacture parts. And so, sorry. Yeah, I said it right.
Yeah.
Boeing Spirit's main client. And so they kind of at the mercy of how it goes, but it's not their only client. So it's just so far off its lows. It's never really bounced back yet. So I think that if you're willing to hold on to this thing, I think it's going to have a nice run. It'll be, we talk about those hold long-term stocks like Spirit will be fine. It'll be back. It's just going to take some time. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, and it's just kind of been chilling around this $19 space. So it really hasn't even if you got into this, since the crash, it really hasn't hurt you all that bad.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's not a whole lot of risk here to take, and there's probably more upside to this than anything else. Claudia, thanks for the donate. Says, thanks, guys. Energy of abundance. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
KYM, what about LCA?
What was it? LCA?
Yes.
LCA is okay, but I would take even DraftKings or MGM, and obviously we talk about Penn being our favorite, but I would take even those two over LCA. I think LCA just has a ways to go in order to catch up with their competition, as far as I'm concerned.
And then, with that being said, LAC, which is a separate company, but it's a lithium company. Yeah.
So here's the thing with these lithium companies. We already saw one of them go off. I don't even remember which one it was now at this point. That's partnering with Tesla. These companies are in loads of debt, and I just can't get behind owning one of these for any length of time. You can obviously see that LAC has had a really strong move. It's up 1,000% from 3 quarters ago. So I think that it could definitely continue to move. But, man, it is so volatile right now. It's gone from $6 to $11.22, back down to $6, and now sitting at $10.63 today. I think it's just way too volatile. It's just way too risky for me. If you want looking for something to get into some risk, I think there's definitely a case that could be made here. But I really hate these lithium stocks.
Yeah, that's fair. So Wi-Fi issues. I'm back. Oh, Primetime DJs. What's up, Primetime DJs?
He even mentioned the Clark Kent look. Should be Clark Kent. Clark with a K, though. Only makes sense.
Julio Cesar Lorenco Bianchi. What is your opinion on 2x FANG ETFs? I loaded the boat on 2x Google during the lows.
ETFs are okay. I mean, if you're just looking to play FANG as a sector, sure. But I'm not a big fan of ETFs in general, especially the leveraged ones, just because there is that decay. So don't hang on to it forever. You want to swing it here and there, sure, go nuts.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but the 2x just means 2x leverage. So whatever the move is for that, so FANG, whatever the move is, it's going to move double. So it's just more volatility. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
So if you have a death wish.
Yeah, because FANG stocks are volatile as it is. I don't know if I would get into anything that's leveraged, especially in that sector. We haven't talked about Square, by the way, but that thing is going off
It
today.
went the hell off. Is that what you're gonna say?
Yeah, Jesus Christ, this thing's nuts right now.
Um. Yeah. What's it? Oh yeah.
It's up
It's moving good.
3.5%.
I scooped up PayPal this morning when it was down.
Yeah, I mean, and PayPal's another one. I mean, I haven't looked at it yet today, but I'm sure they move together. So yeah, 195, we're heading right back to 200 on this thing.
Yeah, it was. I forget what it was down to, but Square was up 2.5%. It was in the red, and I'm like, oh hell no, I'm getting in.
Yeah, yeah. If you
and
ever
I
see
got
that, I
in.
think that you could almost probably make a living doing that, watching both of those. Whenever's one's down and the other one's up, just just buy it.
Yeah, exactly. Penn and DraftKings, same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
DraftKings move. So like, yeah, I mean, I got PayPal at 192 today. I have it in my long term, but I traded it today, so we're doing all right. Okay, so next question. I missed the Square train. No, you didn't miss the Square train. Will the debate have any effect on the markets tomorrow? And what do you think of the mergers of Shell and Graph? Thanks for everything you do. Ryan Lacey, thanks for the donation.
Yeah, Ryan. So to answer the first part of the question, the thing is with the debates is that we probably will see some volatility. And I told a lot of people within our community that, like, it's going to depend on what we hear from each candidate. Like, are we going to see a significant increase in corporate taxes? Because, well, if that happens, then that's going to affect the bottom line of all the corporations that we invest in, which affects what? Earnings. And so then if earnings are lower, then the stock market should essentially be lower as well. So I don't know how that necessarily benefits the stock market. So when we're talking about investing, I think an increase in corporate taxes could be a big deal. Also, there's an increase in taxes when it comes to investors that's on the table, trading as well. So I think that could definitely negatively impact the stock market. But I don't think it's going to be anything long term. I think it's just going to be very short term based. People will get afraid of like what might be happening. And I honestly, whenever I tell anybody that, when people ask me, what's going on, especially if it's something that's just one day of crazy reactions, I always tell people to capitalize on those emotions of other people. If you're getting emotional about it, think about people who don't know any better and are getting emotional and they're just selling it. So take advantage of that. I think it could give us a good opportunity if we do see some selling. And yeah, I'm not really all that worried about it.
So I think, our man, William Fricknick dropping an overnight swing of Penn or Caesars. So who's popping better tomorrow, Penn or Caesars? I think Caesars just had a stock offering, right?
Yeah.
So Penn or Caesars?
Real quick, I just wanted to address the shill. I didn't answer the second part of Ryan's question.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But I think that we'll see quick pops from both of them once both the mergers go through, and it'll just fizzle out. But my opinions on the EV sector still has remained unchanged. But as far as Penn's concerned, I think Penn is going to be the one that pops off. I didn't catch how big Caesar's offering was, so I have to see how big that is as well to see if it's just
30
over
million.
30 million is 30 million shares.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 30 million shares is quite a bit, whereas Penn's was only 14, and really it bounced right back. For those of you guys in the Chaos Crew, you guys caught our sentiments last week when the Penn offering went through, and we thought that the reaction was a bit of a joke, and sure enough, it was. Came all the way down to $62 and it ran all the way back up over 70 to 75. So that was a really good move, and I think that this is just a minor pullback as well because of all the news surrounding around the NFL with Penn. So I think it's definitely one worth grabbing here in the 60s.
Yeah, I mean, didn't you hear the top stocks? Come on, Billy. Penn. The other thing I didn't mention when we talked about the top stocks is I agree with you. I think this NFL thing is a blip on the radar.
Yeah.
So beyond that, let's remember that NBA Finals is about to start up.
Yep.
And so that's really cool. And then I wanted to make another side note. I meant to say it, but I didn't. Regarding the elections, it's anybody's guess. And we were just saying, it's going to be rough sledding for certain stocks. But here's what I think. I don't think anything bad comes out. Like, as far as like, when like the Trump effect, when he tweeted something,
Yeah.
like the stock market moves. I think this only benefits, because anything negatives about Trump, we already know. And like, he's just a, like, I don't want to say he's a troll, but like, he's just got good comebacks, whatever. But this is what he does well, which is like hyping up and bringing up like positive. And so like, I think that at least the debate's concerned tonight, I think it could only help.
Yeah.
I don't think anything that's going to come out that's going to hurt. So I feel like sort of his rebuttals will be the case made for the things he's done. He's going to be talking about jobs. He's going to be talking about opportunities and growth and like all that stuff. So I think it could only benefit or help. I don't know how much it's going to hurt, but that's literally, that's just a guess. Your guess is as good as mine on this one.
Yeah. And I think it's important to bring up what happened during the last election too. You know, there really was a little bit of volatility here and there in 2016. And once Trump was voted in, the futures dropped 800 points. And then the very next day when the market opened back up, the Dow went back up to 1,500 points from where it opened at. So, you know, like you said, it's anybody's guess. The last thing that I would ever want anybody to do, though, is react emotionally. So that's why I was just wanted to reinforce just keeping your emotions in check and making sure that you're looking to capitalize on the emotions of others and not giving in to the emotions yourself.
Yeah. All right. We'll start wrapping this up. Patrick, draft King or Penn. Joseph Albright, yes, take some profits. And Bonnie Larich, I want to get with this because I've said her a couple times. I don't know if she's heard me shout her out for bringing back up Lululemon.
Yeah,
but I appreciate you. Appreciate you, Bonnie. So her question is, hey, boys, I know you're running out of time, but would love for your input on CDLX. That's what I imagine Bonnie sounds like. I don't know what
that was probably so CDLX Cardalytics. I don't know much about this company.
Sorry.
But there's a lot of negative news on this thing that probably tells me I probably shouldn't be in this. Not that I listen to analysts all that much, but looks like we got earnings coming up on them as well. I'll tell you what, I'll take a closer look at this, especially maybe as we get into closer to their earnings date. But right now it looks as if that it's got a pretty decent support at 61 as it's moved up to 69.38 right now. So maybe wait for a pullback, see if it comes back down to 61, 62 and see if it's worth grabbing on a dip there.
You want to take any more? One or two more?
Primetime DJ says he's 2-1 in his big boy fantasy league. Oh man, maybe we'll talk about sports tomorrow or Thursday, but yeah. Oh, also, especially with Penn,
Canagra just joined.
Hey, Canagra. It's probably Canagra. Canagra.
Potato.
But anyways, you talked about the NBA finals, but MLB playoffs start today too.
Oh God, baseball's horrible.
But people love to bet on it. So the Reds are in the playoffs. That's pretty crazy. But
yeah, all that stuff's gonna be good. People are just itching to bet. They're gonna continue to bet.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll start getting some more data around betting in October as well. So remember that, Penn people, and don't forget to tune in tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern time for Google Event Live.
We will be there. Thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Please like and subscribe on your way out the door. And we will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.
If you don't love it, shove it.
You're going to bring that back. See you guys.